Saturday. It's almost half past. I just want to start right at half past, but thought I'd hop in and say hello. Happy Saturday to everyone. Welcome to the Baby Academy, you guys. So we're actually live right now. There's a lot of you here this morning. Thanks for tuning in. If you're having an issue hearing me or seeing me, go ahead and grab another laptop in your home if you have one. That's usually the fastest way around a technical problem. On the other end, too, if you have a lot of windows open, I'm kind of a habitual open window person, go ahead and close all those other windows out and you should be able to see me and hear me properly. If you're still having an issue, there's a whole team of tech people on board who can help you out. Just go ahead and email us at reception@yourbabyacademy.com, and we have someone right here to get you sorted out. So there is time for a break. It's a 2-hour class, you guys, but you'll definitely have time midway through to stretch your legs and have a drink. And here at the Baby Academy, we're really here to support each and every one of you. So as a midwife, I know how important language is, whether we're conscious of it or not. So today I'm going to use the term partner to refer to your +1. I hope that each and every one of you have a +1 to go with you on this journey. You know, your partner might not look like someone else's husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, doula, sister, friend. I hope that each and every one of you have even a village, right, to help the baby. So welcome partners who are here today. So after the workshop, go ahead and take a peek at the email that you used to sign up for this course. We're going to email you on Tuesday with all kinds of notes, right? You're going to get a copy of all of these slides so you don't have to take a ton of notes this morning. There's also going to be links to any websites that I mentioned throughout the day, so you don't have to write those down either. Just sit back and relax and learn how to take care of a new baby. So if you have any questions, I'm really here to support you. That is such a cute baby. So there's 8 topics that we're going to cover today, and we're going to, like I said before, open the chat to talk about the topics that we just covered. So to just kind of keep things flowing, I would ask that you only ask me questions pertaining to the topics that we just recently covered. And then at the end, you can ask me more general questions related to baby care. So my name is Emily, and I am a certified nurse midwife. I'm not a lactation consultant, but I started out as a registered nurse, and I'm basically a nurse practitioner who catches babies for a living. I started out as a nurse 20 years ago, and I took care of adults for about 5 minutes, and then I transitioned to mothers and babies. I spent a lot of my career in the neonatal intensive care unit. I found my true love, which is birth, right, and helping mamas become mamas, and went to the labor and delivery unit probably 10 years into my NICU career, and then went back to school. I have 2 kiddos of my own, so I'm a mom too. They are 11 and 9 years old. I had one in a hospital setting with a physician and the other at home planned with a midwife. So 2 totally different models, but I'm grateful for those, right? Because I can share those experiences with you. You know, all of the information that I've learned over the years in my practice and, you know, from the books too, but also from my experiences as a mom, I'm happy to share with you today. So I'm just really happy to be here. So how about you guys? We're going to open up the chat for just a few minutes. What's your name? Where are you from? When's your baby due? How many babies are you having? Anyone having twins in the house? So a lot of you guys are probably on Central Time or East Coast time. That's who I mostly see in this class. Hi, Erin. Your baby's due in a week. Are you excited and nervous? Both of those things are normal. Welcome. Hi, Tara. Oh, there's a lot of y'all. Okay, let's see. Hi, Nikki in Pennsylvania, an April baby. I can't believe we're already looking at 2022 babies. Time just flies. Hey, Tabitha and Craig from Michigan. Welcome. Hi, Brittany from Louisiana with your first baby, January. Fun. Good morning, Hannah. Hi, Nandi. We've got someone from Nebraska here. So really all over. Thanks for typing in, y'all. Oh my gosh. Darien, South Carolina, baby due January 9th. She's big like her daddy, already measuring long and tall. Don't worry, Darien. We usually grow babies that are appropriately sized for our bodies, so don't worry about that. You can do this. Awesome. Thanks for typing in, you guys. Okay, it looks like we've got the wrong slide deck today, you guys. Let me hang on one second. I am so sorry. Please stand by because we're not talking about breastfeeding today. We are talking about childbirth, baby care. I am so sorry. Stand by for one second. I'm going to pop out of this and see if I can come back in. Hang on one second, guys. Hi, Will. It's Emily. It looks like I have the wrong slide deck. I've got a breastfeeding slide deck. All right. See, we have these people live to get us sorted out, you guys. Okay, thanks, Will. You know what? Being a parent is all about flexibility. So we're just going to be flexible this morning. This is all the same. Cool. Thank you guys for standing by. All right, so let's get back into it. So here at the Baby Academy, we really boil down childbirth education into what we call 5 pillars. The first one being baby care, which is what we're going to cover today. We do cover breastfeeding, but not this morning. So we're going to talk about how to take care of a newborn baby today. And these other 4 pillars here, also super important, are going to be covered in our full day online childbirth education class. Okay. And those are labor, birth, and potential complications, your first 100 days as parents, and baby first aid, choking, and CPR. So, all super important stuff. So, all of the content that we teach here across the board is really tailored for first time expectant parents. Like I said, many of you are probably first time parents. I welcome any second or third time parents here, but I'm going to teach you guys as if you've never put your hands on a baby before. You don't have to have any prior experience or knowledge about babies. I know a lot of you are probably nervous, but we've got you covered. All right, so let's talk about bathing your baby. So I want you to keep in mind that this little sweetheart here is definitely not a newborn. Super cute, but probably 7 or 8 months old today. And this really does inform a lot of the advice that I'll give you. It's just about a brand new baby, right? From birth to about 4 weeks. So super teeny tiny. So we recommend that you only bathe your baby just once a week. And I get a little bit of pushback about that, rightfully so, right? Because we all bathe every day. But you really don't need to bathe your baby more than that because they aren't that dirty. You guys are staying home with you, right? We also don't want you to dry out their skin by bathing them too often and stripping off that good bacteria, right? That our skin is colonized with. You want to really set their skin up to be nice and robust for the coming months so that they're not as susceptible to rashes and sensitivities down the line. So the correct water temperature of a bath would be basically, the same temperature that all of your babies are thriving in right now, right? Core body temperature, and that's 98.6 degrees. That's what you want to go for the water temp in the bathtub. Don't worry, you don't have to have it down to the 10th degree. Some of you might want that because that your personality dictates that. There are little rubber duckies, digital thermometers attached to the rubber ducky that you can do that, right? But you can also just spot check that water too. But just keep in mind that when you're spot checking the water, you want to not do the tips of your fingers because they're not as sensitive to temperature. You want to kind of check with the inner aspect of your arm. So you want to make sure that you have everything you need in your space before you get started, before you get that baby undressed and certainly in the water. So when I was having my kiddos and bathing them, I would have basically two of everything just in case something gets wet or they pee on something. You don't have to go dashing out of the bathroom to get that extra thing, right? So, two diapers, two towels, two little onesies, and you're good to go. You don't need any products in the very beginning because we're recommending just warm water, and that's really all you need and some washcloths. Yeah. So we also recommend that you avoid any bath products until they're a month old because bath products, they're really not necessary, you guys, and they're full of unnecessary chemicals that your baby has to adjust to. If you think about what your baby has to adjust to in this new environment, all of the things, right? And so you want to really minimize the things that their system has to adjust to, right? And so you can put all of those wonderful bath products aside and use them as much as you want at 1 month, right? And so really with the bathing of the baby once a week, I recommend that you, and the World Health Organization agrees with me, that you delay that first bath, the first bath that they ever get in their life, you delay that by at least 24 hours so that your baby is not stressed, right? By stripping off that, making them too cold, right? You can make them too cold when you bathe them too soon, and it's hard to warm them up again, and that can cause some blood sugar instability. And I'm talking about right after they're born, y'all. Okay. So babies are born with this protective coating. It's this kind of white, creamy stuff, and it's almost water repellent. It's really wild stuff. It's called Vernix, and it is tailored specifically to your baby. You really want that stuff to really kind of soak into the skin, which helps it become more robust in the future and not as susceptible to skin sensitivities and rashes. Yeah, so every day you can certainly wipe down what I call those high traffic areas, wash their face, behind their ears, and their neck and their hands. So when you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding your baby, that milk is going to kind of run out of the corner of their mouth and down under the ear and into those yummy neck folds there. So you might want to wipe those down and wipe their face down every day with a washcloth and certainly their hands too. Babies love to suck on their hands. Okay. So they'll instinctively have a little grasp reflex here. And I bet you a lot of your kiddos are sucking on their hands right now as I speak. So you can certainly wipe those things down every day too. Okay, let's have a bath. All right, so I'm going to adjust my screen. I actually have a demo baby today. All right, so this is my demo baby, June here. I named this child after the neighbor, June, who always knocks on the door when I'm teaching, but I've learned I put a note on the door now, and she can read now, so it's even better. So I have a little tub here, a very standard tub, and this is a nice vessel because it is kind of grows with your baby. This is the newborn size. It says newborn here, but you really can't see it, and there's a sling here. And I like this. If I were a new parent, I would probably want to just put baby on this sling here and scoop the water in and do a sponge bath. That might make it seem a little less intimidating. You can certainly have a traditional deep tub here, and see how there's rubber so they don't slide around. Obviously, you're always having a hand on baby when they're in the tub, but you wouldn't want to fill this thing up all the way. You just want to get it about halfway full so that they're wet, but not in too deep a water. So I think the perfect place to bathe your baby would be in the bathroom, right? And that's a nice small room, and you can get things nice and steamy. I would even like take a shower and get it all fogged up in there, and then go ahead and bathe baby because it was nice and tropical for them, and they really enjoyed that. Babies do love to be warm. All right. So I've got some little washcloths here, and I'm going to show you what that daily wipe down would look like. So these little baby washcloths do come in packs of, I don't know, 6, and you can get them really at any store. And so what I would do, so pretend that this is bath day, but I'm going to do the daily rub down first. Okay. And so I'm just going to take a cotton wool here and wipe her eyes down. So it's very common for babies to have kind of crust in the eyes there. And so if that happens, you want to go from the inner corner to the outer corner with one cotton wool, and then the other inner corner to outer corner with the other cotton wool there. Okay. And then you would just wet this with some warm water and go from the top to the bottom. And really the most kind of dirty areas on baby, not that it's dirty, is just kind of in these neck folds here. You're going to have like cheesy stuff from milk running down and behind the ears. Okay. And so on bath day, I would go ahead and just wipe her down. Well, she still has her diaper on. I'm clustering this in a way. I'm also going to just wipe her hands down. And you're going to have to pry her little hands open because babies instinctively will have a grasp reflex there. All right. Okay, so I got the face and I got the hands. And at this point, that's when I'm just going to get her in this tub here. I've filled this tub about halfway with my warm water, 98.6 degrees. I'm going to hold her almost like a football here. She still has her diaper on, you guys. So I'm just going to scoop water over her head and go ahead and give it a nice massage. Every baby I've ever met over 20 years loves a head massage. Who doesn't, right? And see, I'm supporting her neck here. I'm not using shampoo because she's brand new and we don't think it's necessary, but that's just our advice there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put her aside and take her diaper off. We are going to talk about diapering in a little bit. And I'm going to scoop her up and put her directly on this sling here, and I'll just kind of get to work. All right. And so one thing, if you're sponge bathing them like this, one tip that I have for you is to get a spare washcloth, get it completely wet, and just lay it across her chest here so that she doesn't feel open to air and kind of a draft, right? And so I'm just going to wipe down her little arms. I got her head and her face and her neck already. I'm going to go down her chest and around the little belly button here, her legs. There's a lot of folds here in the genitals, so you want to get in between those folds. And then really the only thing that I haven't bathed, you guys, is her back. So I'm going to sit her up. Even if she's brand new, she can sit up and almost slump towards my little hands here, okay? And so I'm just going to kind of support her like this and wash the back of her neck, her back, and her booty. And you've got yourself a clean baby. So go ahead when you're about to scoop her out of the tub and get a clean diaper out and ready to go. And also open up your towel on your countertop. I'm going to scoop her up and put her directly on this towel here. Just for the interest of space, I'm just going to put this tub over here. And I'm going to dab her dry as quickly as I can around the diaper area because I want to go ahead and get this diaper on her. When babies are relaxed and warm, they're going to pee. So you want to just make sure that you have them diapered first and everything else is second, right? And so I've got a a lot of these baby towels have these little hoodies, which are super cute, but they're also very practical in that you can dab their little heads dry too. Okay. All right. So that didn't take me very long, you guys. I like to talk about your baby's senses at this point in the class because I think that it really pertains to bath time. Your baby's senses are not as developed as you might think that they are, okay? Her sense of sight when she's brand new, she can't see very far distances, okay? She can actually only see from the distance to my breast to my face, which is really a perfect and beautiful design, in my opinion. And so if I'm bathing this kid, I am in her line of vision. See how I'm kind of close to her? And I'm actually talking to her as I'm bathing her, not because I'm crazy, but because she recognizes the sound of my voice. So researchers tell us that your babies can recognize the sound of their parents' voices from 20 weeks on, which is really beautiful, right? And so if she's learning a new thing, like getting bathed in this outside world, you want to really connect with her to those things that are familiar to her, right? The sound of your voice. Okay. And then touch is also super important. So you're doing a head massage and washing the hair and just nice gentle touch is really can be a bonding experience for you guys. Okay. The other piece too is I like to talk about how to pick up a newborn. People are very nervous around newborns. I promise you, they're not as fragile as they look. Yes, they don't have great muscle control, but they're pretty tough. Okay. And so, that said, you want to always support the back of the neck and the booty. If you have your hands on these two areas, you are golden. Okay. Even with a premature baby, if you have those 2 points of contact, you have supported this baby as best you can. All right. And so when I go scoop this kiddo up, I'm just going to support the back of the neck here. So keep in mind, I'm not doing this because that's just going to flex her head in. I'm supporting her neck. Yeah. And then the bottom here. Now, if that doesn't feel secure enough to you, you can also support the neck with your wrist and then go ahead and grab her little arm and her leg here. Okay. And this baby's not going anywhere. All right. So we have an Instagram account, like everyone in the free world, right? Who at the Baby Academy US, there's a lot of videos that cover these basic things. If you get to the point where you're sleep deprived and you've got to bathe this kid and you want a little refresher, just hop on Instagram and check out our videos. We've got a lot of practical things on there. It's at the Baby Academy US. The Baby Academy is also in several other countries. So you might find at the Baby Academy UK, Ireland, you might want to follow those too. Some things are universal in terms of baby care. So I think they're all a great follow. All right, let's talk about skin and nail care. Okay, so dry skin is definitely a common phenomenon, particularly with a baby who's born past their due date. Okay, you've all been assigned a due date, which is 40 weeks of pregnancy. And if you're having just one baby, not twins, then you might go past your due date depending on how your pregnancy is going and how this baby's looking and what your provider is comfortable with, right? You can actually go up to 2 weeks beyond your due date in some situations. And if that baby's a week late, 2 weeks late, he's going to come out with some dry skin. You're going to see dry skin here across the chest usually, and then you're going to see some dry skin on the fat rolls of their arms and legs. Yeah. So you can actually use a product if your baby comes out with dry skin. I know we're like no products, no products, but you can use a oil like coconut oil, or if you really want to do a moisturizer, I would go hypoallergenic fragrance free. That's the language you want to look for on the packaging, right? Because with fragrance is extra chemical that your baby doesn't need necessarily. I just wouldn't moisturize their face. They don't need it, and it can get in their eyes, right? And so, if you feel like you want to moisturize dry skin, you're just going to be getting their trunk here and their arms and their legs, most likely. So, newborn rash. This little sweetheart here has a newborn rash, and it is totally normal and okay. All right. And so, this rash here, as you can see on the trunk, is it's a little red and splotchy, but it's not raised at all. It's not draining anything. It's not itchy for baby or painful for baby, and it's something that's actually going to fade away by a week or two. Okay, so your pediatrician, I would guess that most of you, since we're here in the US, are planning a hospital delivery. And at that point, the pediatrician is going to be coming in and evaluating your baby from head to toe every day before you go home. I say that because if your baby has something really abnormal going on with their skin, your pediatrician is going to be talking to you about that and arranging for appropriate follow up. Okay, so you're not going to be sent home with the skin condition that no one's addressed. Yeah, so this little newborn rash here is going to go away by 2 weeks. Make sure my pointer here. Yeah, okay, y'all can see my pointer. Yeah, if you're concerned really about anything at all, pregnancy, something with your baby, if you're concerned about anything, please use your voice and call your pediatrician, call your provider. That is a huge part of our job as clinicians is to reassure sometimes parents that things are normal or direct them to some help that they need. Milia. So milia is also another common skin condition. Not every baby gets it, right? But it's basically little teeny tiny white papules. It's like sebaceous cysts that are, and I'm doing this because I always see them on the bridge of the nose and the little cheeks here. They're little teeny tiny white spots. They look like white heads, but you definitely don't want to pop those, you guys. They're super tiny, and you want to just leave them be. There's really not anything you can put on them to make them go away faster. The best thing you can do is to just leave them alone. Yeah, so that milia is going to dissolve into their skin over the first 6 months. And you really honestly can't tell if a baby has milia unless you're pretty close to them. So, nail care. So, I was talking about that baby who was born a little bit late with the dry skin. So, if your baby's born a little bit late or at full term, they're probably going to come out with some long fingernails. Okay. And so the best way to trim that nail is to actually file down with just your very basic nail file or emery board from the drugstore. You just want to file those nails down to the level of the finger, instead of using the clippers, right? There are little clippers out there that are marketed for newborn babies. They're super teeny tiny and they even have a magnifying glass on them. But I'm going to tell you a secret. I used one of those on my second baby. I think I was feeling a little bit overconfident, maybe cocky, and I nicked her finger. So don't do what I did. Just use an emery board, and you can't cut your baby's finger, if that happens, right? And if you do cut your baby's finger on accident, the world will continue to turn. She will be okay. You will be okay, right? But use that nail file. That's a much easier way to do it. Another good tip too is you can wait until they're sleeping. You're not going to wake them up, but if you just kind of creep over to where they are, and you just kind of put your finger in around their hand, and they're probably gonna, put their hand around your finger and then say this is like an emery board or a nail file, and you're just gonna file those fingers down, those nails down to the level of the finger, and you're good. I wish I had that tip before. All right, let's talk about changing diapers.